set out to move in here, and then when we first kicked the ball off, we hired a local engineering firm, met with the city, and things kind of took a little turn for the worse in our first city meeting, and it just kept spinning out of control. I really don't like confrontation, but I'm not afraid of it. You know, I've learned that I got to follow the truth where it takes me, and at all costs. And I don't always, because I am also afraid, like everybody else. Sometimes I cower, but
Did you have people tell you just try a different location, just try a different place?
yeah, try a different location, try a different place. Hey, you could do other things with that property. It's a nice piece of property. All kind of, but none of that interests me. You know what I mean? I'm not in the real estate business. I got one mission here. You know what I mean? We're doing this or we're doing nothing. So I appreciate it, but not interested. And but yeah, so we hit some resistance, and we pushed back. And at first, I thought we had a real, so our resistance came from the fire department or not the fire department. I love the fire department, by the way. But from the fire marshal, who didn't really understand the fire code. And I didn't know that originally. I thought maybe we just had a real problem. But after a few conversations, I started realizing maybe they didn't. And so I pushed a little further uphill to fire chief. And after a meeting with the fire chief and a city council member and the fire marshal, then I realized that I didn't know what was going on, but that they really didn't know either. And so and I realized that they had something personal against me, that I had offended them, and that how dare me challenge them, that they're the law. And so and I did it as respectfully and kindly as I could, I promise you, and everything's recorded. I have it all. But once I realized that, then I thought, where that pride exists like that is normally not transparent. You don't find transparency. So what it was going to cost us was our whole mission. We didn't have the money to do what they wanted us to do. So we either had to abandon the mission because we were in the wrong, and it wasn't their fault. It was just a bad deal. I made a bad decision. I didn't know enough when I made the decision, and I got myself in a jam. Or they didn't know what they were doing, and our mission could be saved by following the code and doing what was right. And so my responsibility was to find out what it was. So I hired a fire code consultant, and I began studying the fire code. I would say the fire marshal, I don't think he was a bully. I think he had been trained to do what he did. I think he was making a mistake, but the problem was he wasn't willing to study and to question himself. Yeah, there were bullies in the issue, for sure. Well, first of all, it's easy for me to say because it was the right thing to do, all right? So, and it was the right thing to do, and I hope that's why I did it. But we also, our ship was going down if I didn't press on. And so I made up my mind. I said this, I'd rather our ship sink than me fight for a lie. Because God can bring the ship up. But if I sink it with my own pride, it's sunk, okay? So I had a responsibility to find the truth. Once I found what I believed was the truth, and I realized that the pride in city leadership refused to listen, and it was very obvious. It wasn't hard to tell. I mean, I'm talking about people storming out of meetings, slamming doors, calling me a liar multiple times when they knew what they were saying wasn't the truth. When I saw that, then I knew I had a responsibility to persevere. I didn't know if I would win or not. But if the ship was going down, it might as well go down for the right reason. And I felt like began to realize I wasn't the only one. A lot of local businesses were fighting the same battle.
Do local small businesses make the decision to just walk away, even though they know they're right in the city of Beaumont, in your view?
Yeah.
They do?
They do. And I don't think they want to. I know they don't want to. I've talked to many of them. They don't want to. But the city they have nothing to lose. And these guys are losing thousands of dollars a day fighting, and they're probably not going to win.
Do you think it has the effect of muzzling small business, impairing Beaumont from having a better shot at having a vibrant small business community?
It cripples it. Absolutely cripples it. But I want to clarify that, okay? There is code, and small business has a responsibility to follow the code, right? And I wanted to fulfill the code. I just didn't want to do anything I didn't want to go beyond the code because you wanted me to.
You had plenty of support when it came down to it.
Thank God.
What do you think that was about?
I don't know, man. That blew my mind because,
More than 100 people there.
yeah, we showed up that morning. I texted a lot of people on my contact list. And I'm walking in there and I'm thinking, our ship sinks or sails right here today in 2 or 3 hours. Months of battle, and it's all coming down to this. And honestly, I didn't know if anybody'd show up, and I kind of suspected that a lot of people wouldn't. I mean, it was the middle of the day. You got to take off work. And I got there, the room was already half full. And people just kept pouring in. And so at that point, really for me, win or lose, I won. And so we presented the truth and presented it and presented it and presented it. And it's hard to convince some people that this guy knows nothing. I mean, where does this guy get the audacity to challenge the fire marshal on the fire code? You know? And I didn't want to be that guy. I just wanted the truth to stand for itself. But whenever it came down and that those people being there kept the city accountable. Because you had it was hard to make a selfish decision in front of all those people. And that board did a great thing, and they made a good decision. And there was a standing ovation, and that was a great moment.
It feels like, but it sounds like a Jericho moment. I mean, it sounds like a miraculous moment where folks are standing up, and as a result of them being there and city leaders realizing that there's some degree of pressure on their decision, that it's a crucible. It's got to go one of two ways, and you ended up winning. From here, where does Shields of Strength go?
I get that question all the time, and I don't know, okay? And here's what I mean by that. I've made too many plans, and they're never good ideas, all right? I'm just telling you. And then for your life, I would tell you this, and anybody for their life. We need to know which way, we need to know where we need to go, right? We need to have some sense of the mission. But so from here, Shields of Strength is to continue getting a piece of God's word around people's neck to change their lives, all right? But what I've learned is that now that I know where that I want to go, I pray and I make wise decisions and loving decisions, selfless decisions daily. And so that means if you're on your trip that, hey, this is the way I think I want to go. But I may get to the next corner and realize there's a roadblock. And if I'm prideful, I'm stuck on my way to go, I'll push through that roadblock and I'll drive right off a cliff. But if I'm willing to keep turning and making adjustments and going. So our mission from the beginning has been to reach the world with a piece of God's word, because his word can change their life. I can talk to you all day long. You won't remember a word I said. I give you one piece of God's word to change your life.